It's Friday, and that means that we're back with another episode of Kickstart Your Weekend. I hope you all have had a good week. It's a really tumultuous time for many people, and certainly friends and their families. So everyone who's watching, I hope that with everything that's going on in the world, you're all safe and your friends and families are as well. We also, we're here. Really excited. There's some really great projects that we're going to be talking about today. Three really interesting Kickstarter projects, in fact, tabletop RPGs. And of course, we will be announcing the winners of our little giveaway in association with Purple Sorcerer. So, with Devious Dungeons, Foreboding Forests, and the Coolest Cats, my name's Phil. Welcome to the Dark Orb. How are you doing, everyone? Oh, it's been a long week. We'll talk all about what's been happening in my world, probably along with everyone else's, in the after party. So if you enjoyed the show today, then please do comment. We are live. Please subscribe if you haven't done already. But also, please hang around. We're going to be shifting over to Twitch. So if you're not watching on Twitch right now, then at 9 p.m. UK time, so that's 10 p.m. Central European and 4 p.m. Eastern, we'll be moving over to Twitch for our after party, which is where our patrons, bless you all, get the opportunity to join in, and we'll just talk about stuff. It's kind of no major rules there. Just have a bit of fun and talk about what's going on in the world. Really some great stuff that I want to talk about in that as well this week. There's some great TV shows and films that are in the mix. Before we do that, though, we have our Kickstart Your Weekend show where we will talk about three exciting projects, as I mentioned earlier. If you're interested in the projects that we're talking about, please do comment. Please hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Before we do anything, let's have a look and see who we have with us this evening. Bruce Sanjuro, very good to see you. Bring on the heckle. Currently flying solo. We might have a couple more people join in a bit, but yeah, bring it on. And Jay, really good to see you. Thank you very much for joining. I'm going to wait a little while before we announce the winners of our competition. I think what I'm going to do, we've actually got quite a few prizes, and I'm a little bit concerned about losing some time in announcing all the winners in this show. So what I'll do, we've got two omnibuses of Dungeon Crawl Classics adventures from Purple Sorcerer. Love you, Purple Sorcerer. You do amazing things for DCC and for the community. So please check them out. And what we're looking at there is the Sullen Lands Omnibus and the Sunken City Omnibus. Maybe I'll talk about those well, no, we'll talk about those in the after party, but let's announce one of those prize winners after each of the things that we're going to talk about today for those two omnibuses. And then we actually have giveaways also of there's a Sunken City. I've totally forgotten the name of the scenario. Where is Zach when you need him? There's a Sunken City scenario, and there is also Nevin Pendlebrook's Perilous Pantry, which we've been playing as an actual play in a live stream over the last 4 weeks on Twitch. So all of those episodes are now available on our YouTube. Check them out. It was great fun, and we're going to have more DCC next month. But yeah, we'll come back to that, and we'll talk about who wins each of the omnibuses in this episode. So stay tuned. But first of all, let's crack on and talk about the first of our projects that we want to discuss today, and that would be Zin Never Dies. Let's bring it up here. In fact, if we go for the screen layout, then you can actually see it. I should also do that. Hello also to Yoel. I see that you are. Ah. Tinfoil Saint telling me to do a backflip. I miss you, Zach. I appreciate that you are having fun at a convention whilst many of us are wrapped up at home, sober and warm. Hopefully, we can hear all about that either in the after party or next time you're on the show. You're at LAN, great gaming convention, video games and role playing and all that sort of stuff here in the UK. Right, I'm going to stop babbling and we're going to talk about Zin Never Dies. I'm intrigued by this, I must confess. I have some concerns, but I really want them to be allayed. So let's talk about it. In fact, should we watch the video? Let's watch the video. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it.
At the center of the world, there is a dead land. It has cities, and roads even, and not a single living thing. It was beautiful once, a vast, peaceful land. They built an empire, but they built too high and delved too deep, and their tool, magic, had a will of its own. They called it Zin, and it spread like a disease, and with it, the empire. It kept growing and growing until one day, it disappeared. Just like that. They thought Zin was their tool, but it was their master. They were mortals after all. But Zin never dies.
That's Zin Never Dies. Hang on, let me just sort this out. There we go. Right. And basically, from what I've been able to piece together, it's been a long week, but effectively, this is very much reminds me of the Miyazaki Hayao Spirited Away in some regards, certainly in terms of the art style, which is it's an anime film from 90s, early 2000s, sometime around then. As I say here, it's a role-playing game, both charming and spooky, where you enter a world of masks and spirits where the gods are real, but you wish that they weren't. A world where slugs wear suits of armor, where I presume that's colossal gods visit 4 times a year, where strange little masked people emerge from empty caves with no face and no memories. And there is a quick start. In fact, I can show you the quick start in a bit. If we have time, we can go through that. It looks really interesting. It's a D20 system, but it's its own system where basically no matter what your role is, and this is where there's some onus on the GM to think about when it's the most appropriate to roll. When you roll, you will always succeed, but the amount of success, if you like, on the roll, however high your roll is, will define whether or not you get a partial success or a full success or a critical, effectively, but you can't fail a roll. So that's down to, I guess, if you're the GM, you would not ask for a roll if you didn't want them to be able to do the thing, and you'd just propose another alternative. There's quite a lot in the scenario. Oh, sorry, in the campaign. But what we're looking at is, for the core book, core system rules, the player's guide, the GM's guide. 7 species, 10 unique lands, 50 strange creatures, and there's a really interesting magic system where, let me see if I can find it on here. Yeah, so there are these towers. Tower of Alteration. Oh, it's gone away now. Hang on. Alteration, mind, creation, life, sense, illusion, fire, movement, and what was the last one? Distance. And basically, you can influence the world by the tower, which is like the magical school that you have chosen for your character. As I said, there is a quick start. The quick start has got quite a lot of information in it. It's definitely worth having a read. There are some language issues, I would say, in the Kickstarter, in the quick start as well. Maybe English isn't the first language of the person who's writing it, and that's not a problem. You can still understand what's going on. It's kind of an attention to detail thing rather than an issue. And certainly there are some games by some large publishers, Freya Ligan, I'm looking at you, where they have really no excuse for these sorts of, translation errors and typos and things like that. And I'm not saying there are typos in this. There are just some, certainly in the quick start, there were some sentences that didn't really flow very naturally in English, but that's fine. You can still understand what's being said. The presentation is quite nice. We'll have a look in a second. And there's a lot, you see here, there is a lot of hubbub. There's some steam behind this sort of movement of this game. Looks like there's a lot of people that are really excited about this. There is a Discord. I have not joined the Discord, but it's quite clear that for what looks like a single person publishing this game, actually they're putting a lot of effort in. I think they're doing all the art, and I think it said they're quite young. They're in their early 20s. It's their first Kickstarter project, and that's maybe some of my hesitance with backing this. And I don't want to sound like I'm going to just be really negative about this project. I think it's really exciting, but I do have some hesitation in the ability to fulfill, just purely based on the perception, or my perception at least, that this is their first Kickstarter. They're promising quite a lot, and we've seen large companies promise a similar amount and struggle. They're certainly likely to struggle with delivery if they're not really on the ball. The flip side of that is that the estimated delivery times are quite reasonable. We're looking at March 2023, so they're giving it a year, and certainly they've already clearly started writing it. So that's great. They've already got artwork assets, so that's great as well. So it's not entirely impossible to get this done. What I think they'll need in order to do well is to have more backers. And realistically, that's the challenge, because if you don't have enough backers, then each of those SKUs is going to be really expensive to produce. Each of those items is going to be very expensive to produce. And in terms of what they've got available, let's have a quick look. The PDF, which is 20 euros, that's a great price. That's high enough to value the product, which I think is really important. With something like this, it's really art heavy. Don't charge 3 or 4 euros, 3 or 4 pounds even for the PDF. It's worth more than that. Your time is worth more than that. You could possibly even push it higher, but I know there's a point at which people just won't pay for it. But I really like that PDFs are beginning to get more expensive, slightly more going towards the Monty Cook method of actually charging an appropriate amount for your IP, because actually the printing and the distribution is not the most expensive part of producing a role-playing game, as far as I am aware, producing one of these books. Hardcover, 60 euros, all in 80 euros, which you get some other stuff. Like you get some stickers and a pin, and I was going to say dice, but that's not dice. Then you have what we would all call the Dark Orb or Fill level, the 100 euro level deluxe core rulebook. And then you have the signed version of that. No, in fact, I'm looking wrong. So it's 20 for that, 40 for the hardcover, 60 you're all in, 80 deluxe, 100 deluxe signed. I mean, if signed matters to you, then obviously get the deluxe signed. If I were to back this, and I'll be clear, I'm not backing this purely because I know I won't run it. I can't do this setting justice. And that setting is kind of an Asian-inspired sort of gods and magic setting. I can't do that justice. It's not the sort of game I run. It would be great to play. I think, yeah, it's an interesting one. Zach, Temple Saint says, signed for a first-time publisher. Lol. Yeah, it's a tricky one, because actually, if it's really popular and they make a name for themselves, then actually that's pretty cool. You'll end up with a signed book from a reputable and well-established author, and further down the line that could be worth something. But I think get it signed because actually you just want to have the author's name in the book, not necessarily because it's going to increase the value of the property. If it's a good book, you won't want to sell it anyway, let's face it. Right, let me scroll up and see what we've got in the comments. Yeah, I agree. Suits of armor that aren't shaped like snail shells. God damn it. This is on the like sort of sluggy snail things. I think there was a picture here. Let me find it. I know I saw it somewhere. There we go. It just doesn't quite look right, does it? You know, being blunt, it would be nice if there were some sort of spirals of armor. Not very practical, but this is a fantasy setting, obviously. You've got the Freeborn, which are kind of catty people. The Mast, the ones with the Zin, Nooks, Everstormers. Let's see if I can just switch what I'm sharing for a second and share the PDF. Let's do that. So window. This is going to show the wrong product to begin with, but let's get that over to. So this is the quick start, and it's really pretty. They've done a really good job here. So I'm not going to dwell here too long, but I just want you to get an idea of what the finished project is going to look like. And it's yeah, I like it. I think it's very well laid out. Like I said, there's maybe some fine tuning that could be done with the actual language, but that's okay. And let's just bring that comment off. The layout is really nice. It's really clean. It's very easy to follow. I did have some struggle with understanding how to build your character with points assignment. As it says, these have to add up to 45, and my brain can't see how that adds up to 45. I was only really skimming it though, so you know, take more than 5 minutes to read it, and not having had a really long day where you woke up way too early and all that useless real life crap. I'm sure it makes perfect sense. You know, they were going to have play tested the hell out of this as well. But yeah, I really like the layout. I think it's really cool. I think the art is fantastic. There's Tinfoil Saint's favorite character again, and you can see many of the different types of creatures and characters you can have here. I mean, you know, there's things like, you know, horses and half turtles and blind needle snakes. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Like I say, it reminds me of Spirited Away in terms of the art approach. Miyazaki Hayao film, Studio Ghibli. Check that out. What else we got? Bruce says interesting mechanics, similar ideas in the D sanction, and a little bit of Salvage Union. So you can fail in Salvage. Yes, exactly. And it is becoming more and more of a thing where, you know, you don't necessarily want your characters to fail when they do a dice roll. We were doing not an actual play. We did a play test, if you like, before we do a campaign on the Twitch channel for Broken Compass, and that's kind of similar. It's not very easy to fail. The mindset is completely different because you have to kind of invent a way that the characters succeed, even if they fail a roll. It's a little bit different, but yeah, again, it comes down to a similar sort of idea of not necessarily failing forward, but having success in mind when staging an event within a game. We're talking about signed stuff, and so it's like band playing at a pub, throwing guitar picks into the crowd. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but you know, at least you can use those. You can play a naked slugman while you take their armor off, I guess. I don't think there is a pantomime horse, Andy, but you can make one, even if there's not one in the book. So yeah, that's our first. Let's just get back over to the Kickstarter window. That's our first project that I wanted to talk to you about, and I'm really curious to know what you guys think, guys and girls. Have you checked it out already? There's plenty of time left on there, so you know it should do fairly well. Still at 26 days. We have now reached the funding goal, but I think, as I said already, in order to really do well with this, they're going to need a few more backers so that they definitely get past that break-even point. Particularly as you've got a couple of SKUs there. You've got the deluxe version and you've got the standard version of the book, and I can't imagine that it's going to be that fun to, particularly if that's gilded. It looks like it's gilded and sort of a black leatherette. It's probably not going to be that fun to get that produced. I don't really know whether or not that kind of cover, as opposed to a full cover is full color cover is more expensive, because at least you're not then doing like, you know, full color printing or whatnot. Maybe it just looks fancier, but the production price is the same, but you're still going to have to pay 2 lots of setup fees, plus the proofing is probably very different. So it all adds up. Check it out though. Let me know what you think. If you like the look of this game, then hit like. Let us know. Or tell us in the comments what your thoughts are. Have you backed it? Are you looking forward to it? What do you really like about it? Have you got any concerns about this project? Pretty much the main reason why I'm personally not backing it is purely because I don't really run this setting or this style of game. That's it. I actually think that if they can pull it off, and I'm sure they can, they've got quite a lot of backing, quite a lot of fans that are really pushing for this by the look of things. It's going to be a really good, unique product. And that's really cool. We like that. Let me just see if I have missed anything off. I agree, actually, Andy. I'm preferring the ability to fail. I mean, I do it all the time at life. Not really. I think it is important that you have the opportunity to fail. But you know, the onus is on the GM to make that happen in an appropriate way. So to an extent, if you're trying to, you know, cross a bridge and your roll is very bad, you might still find a way to cross that bridge, but it won't necessarily be the way that you initially intended. It might be that you spot another route. So, you know, rather than crossing that bridge, the bridge collapses and you put your foot on it. But the failing forward could be that whilst you haven't managed to cross the bridge itself, oh, you know this, I'm not trying to teach you to suck eggs. You know, the person who's the character that's doing that realizes whilst they're kind of scrabbling up that there's a ford further down. You can just about make it out. So that, for example, may be a way that you could kind of do that. You've failed, but you succeed kind of thing by still having an opportunity. But in the process, maybe you lose something. I don't know. There are ways and means. We all know this. We've all been running and playing games for years. But I don't know whether or not it's very well defined in the book because we haven't read it. I do like it, though. I think this project is really fun. And I'd be really interested to see what comes of it. So that's by... Let me try and remember. So Nemo, Dowme. No idea. Check it out. They also have a website, which is zinneverdies.com. And it's a really nice website. They've really invested some time and effort into this. I think it's... let me just make that a bit bigger again. I think, you know, it's like a WordPress or something, but still, it looks good. You've got these nice little animated GIFs and things like that. So it's quite clear that they are trying really hard to make this look like a premium product, and that's not cheap. And you know, from the offset, in terms of time, as well as in terms of potentially investment through artists, etc., or you know, web devs or whatever. I like it. Right, let's go back here. Right, let's have a look at the first prize winner, shall we, for the Purple Sorcerer giveaway that we did in conjunction with our actual play that we've done over the last 4 weeks over on Twitch. The episodes are on Twitch. We also have now put them out as a playlist on our YouTube stream. So please, if you like Dungeon Crawl Classics, which is an OSR kind of D&D before 5th edition type game, then check it out. It was a hell of a lot of fun. We've got 4 episodes. They're not terribly long. The 3rd episode is a bit longer as we had a fight that took a bit longer than planned, but it was really great. And our beloved Tinfoil Saint, aka Judge Zach, took us through Nebin Pendlebrook's Perilous Pantry. Always have to think when I say that. We ran a competition. One of the characters in the first episode died screaming his own name. And I invite anyone watching live who knows that name to, in the comments, shout it out. Type away now, and I will show up all of those comments if anyone does it, whilst we pick out the first winner. And I'll tell you now that we have said that players from that campaign can play as well. I have a bunch of entries here, as you can see. lots here. I'm just going to pull out the first one, alphabetical order. This will be for the Sullen Lands Omnibus, and we'll do Sunken City afterwards. And we have some more prizes which we'll give out in the after party from this selection, but we've got a limited amount of time, so let's do this. Right, so there we go. So you can see, I think that's just one. Right, let's have a look and see who's won the Sullen Lands Omnibus. And Roland G, you have won the Sullen Lands Omnibus Purple Sorcerer PDF. I know we've got you in Discord, so send me a private message so I don't forget, and we'll get that arranged with Judge Sack. So here we go. Farg, indeed. Farg. Roland. Congratulations, Roland. Sullen Lands is really cool. Really, really cool. You won't be disappointed. Let's have a look at our second project now. Time is marching on. Give me a second whilst I just rearrange everything here. So I am supremely interested in this. And Bruce says, congrats. Not jealous at all. There's plenty to go around. Don't worry. I'm sure you've got a good chance of still winning something, Mr. Sanjura. This next project looks amazing, like really amazing. It's kind of zine monthy, not many pages to it, but we know that I'm a bit of a fan for grimdark, and we are in favor of the coolest cats. I'm not as much of a metaler as you might expect. Actually, I don't listen to a lot of heavy metal music. I do like rock music. In fact, I like most music apart from like some like bluegrass and a few other things. Chinese opera has not quite sat well with me yet, but look at this. Just, yeah, I can't pad out anymore. 9 Lives to Valhalla. I'm going to play the video. I'm really hoping that it's not copyrighted music, or we could have a challenge. But let's give it a go. Oh, Gem Room Games, I love you already. This is freaking amazing. I just love it. I really, really do. 9 Lives to Valhalla is a frenetic, gleefully ultra-violent new tabletop role-playing game from Gem Room Games about death metal Viking cats earning their seat in Valhalla through glorious violence and death. All 9 of them, all 9 lives. I presume it's supposed to all 9 cats. 9 lives to stalk the earth, 9 times to die with a sword in paw, 9 lives to Valhalla. You are a death metal Viking cat, earning your place in the drinking halls of Valhalla by casting a wake of blood and carnage upon the blighted earth in each of your 9 lives. Guided personally by death, your merry band will leave a wake of ruin, ending only at the hands of truly worthy foe. Find treasures, trade with merchants, mercenaries, or ghosts, and follow death to seek worthy foes, fiendish traps, and ensure your place among the greatest warriors of catkind. I just love it. It's just brilliant. Fast-paced, high-energy play. Let's have a look. I have actually grabbed the preview. It looks amazing. I'm not quite sure what the system is. I'll be honest. I kind of don't care, basically. Digital edition, physical edition of the record mode is available in the Seafarer, Pantheon, Backer tiers bundled with the physical edition 9 lives. So it's a few different editions here. We'll check it out in a bit. there's lots of praise going on here. Soul Queen Games, Possible World Games, Hila RPGs. It'd be great if we could get something on there. Like me just saying, I fucking love it. It looks amazing. It's probably accurate. Pledge levels. There are a few pledge levels. But actually, it's going to be easy to read here. $1 to be a friend. £5 for the PDF version, all the way up to £112, £150 for physical zine, printable character sheet, your cat's in-game art, an A5 print of that art, and PDF. I mean, that's crazy. That's amazing. Not crazy bad, crazy good. I have backed this. In case you couldn't guess, I have backed this at the Seafarer level. Yeah. What can I say? It's just, yeah, it's amazing. Let's have a look at the PDF. There's like a quick view PDF of this. Right, bear with me. This will go straight into the wrong PDF because I'm that organized. Here we go. I'm just going to scroll through this. There aren't that many pages, but you get a good idea of the layout, of the art style, and what's there. It has been an age since the last of man drew breath. Now only stone and steel monuments remain, half buried and twisted. The land is broken, the seas are cold, and the nights are dark. Strange and vicious creatures roam the earth. Dogs still hold the love of the leash in their hearts and would use their strange magics to rebuild the world in man's long-dead tyranny. Glorious death and outrageous fortune await those who would stop them. Skipping forward a bit. You are a cat, sworn enemy of man and dog. Your only comrades are your fellow hunters and death itself. I love it. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Andy. There should only be 9 available for the top tier. Oh, yeah. I should say it in metal. Did I do that close enough? I didn't see that request until after I'd read it. So I don't know. Did I manage a metal voice by accident? Seriously, what the cat? Why on fucking earth would you play death metal Viking cat? What do you mean why? Why the hell wouldn't you? I don't get it. What do you think, everyone? If you're watching and you have a comment on this, please let me know. I'll tell you now, if you are following this from my personal Facebook, unfortunately, the comments don't come through, so you'll need to nip over to YouTube or to the Dark Orb Facebook page in order to comment there. We just won't see it. It just doesn't come up for some reason. Right. What more can we say about this? Oh yeah, we're scrolling through the pages, aren't we? How to play. Assemble and choose one among you to take the mantle of death. So it's your GM, basically. All others take the role of various death metal cats, Viking cats. Grab a fistful of dice with 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 sides. So grab your Savage Worlds dice set, I guess. You don't need a D20 here, though. Looks of it. Scratch paper, writing utensils, and character sheets. Each cat are also required. Document your cat, character sheet. I mean, it just seems. There you go. 4 attributes: brutality, viciousness, cunning, and ferocity. It does feel like those terms are. Some of those are a little bit borderline synonymous. That's my first thought there. I don't know. What do you think, guys, girls? In the comments, what your thoughts on that? Maybe no, I don't know. That's how it feels to me. Anytime dice are rolled, something must die. Even when all appears calm, hidden foes lurk in the dark shadows and behind nefarious disguises. That almost feels like the old adage of if you draw a sword, then it must taste blood, right? I guess it's kind of similar to that. If a known foe or hidden assassin threatens a cat, the cat's player rolls 2 attributes determined either by the weapon they're using or the context. Player declares the attributes they're using and rolls a dice, reporting the highest value. Death then rolls 2 dice with large dice representing greater threats. So it feels like it's like a contested roll. If the cat rolls a higher die, then whatever foe attempts to kill the cat suffers an instant death. If the death rolls higher, the foe was successful and the cat dies. I mean, that's pretty damn simple, right? Someone will always die. Let's see. Yeah, 2 stats then. Pretty much that. But I'm all right with that. No. Here we go. Right, so brutality is force, vigor, hardiness, and obstinance. Viciousness is precision, finesse, balance, and spite. So you're going to use viciousness when you're wielding a rapier, for example, when you're fencing as a cat. Cunning, anticipation, maneuvering, machinations, and treachery. And ferocity is instinct, reaction, awareness, and fury. And it looks like there's some dice, some cats available here to choose from, or maybe these are the gods. Pantheon. Yeah, that's probably what they're referring to. And then death, so it's the GM roll. I think this is really wicked, I've got to say. It's very simple. As we've already established, it's low cost. I'm just going to switch over to the other share. Share screen. The joys of flying solo. We on that one? I think we're on that one. We are now. Yeah. So that's... I think it's really wicked. There is a sneak peek. Let me show you where it is on the project page, because it's kind of hidden. Here, so just above this image here, 9 Lives to Valhalla. It's easy to miss, but that will take you to their itch.io page, which looks like this. And yeah, it's a nice page. They put a little bit of effort into this as well, which is good. So yeah, as I said, it's a Zemo thing. There's hardly any time left on this, by the way, people. So if you like the look of it, you don't have long to back it. You've got a character sheet here as well. Name, photo, description, attributes. I love how simple this game is. It's really super straightforward. That's great. So yeah, check out the preview. And if you like the look of it, then you've got 3 days left to back on this. Just to see if there's any more information. So it's Gem Room Games. First one that they've at least put onto Kickstarter. I'm not sure if it's the first thing they've published. I've got a gut feeling it isn't. Super quick to play. Well, as long as the GM will make it, but super quick to get the hang of and actually just start playing. The artwork is really fun. Cats, and yeah, price not too bad. $5 for the PDF, as I said, or $15, £12 for the physical zine of 9 Lives to Valhalla and The Wreck of the Murderess, which is something I'm not too sure. Maybe that's their previous project. Or maybe it's the scenario. I apologize that I haven't quite got my head around everything that's in here. Oh, no, it's the adventure. My apologies. 9 Lives to Valhalla Adventure, The Wreck of the Murderess. So there you go. 12 quid gets you all of that. The adventure and the rulebook in print, or you get them both as a PDF for 8 quid if actually that's what you want. What do you think? If you like the look of it, then let us know. Hit like. And I think it's probably appropriate that we ask the Catman himself, Catman Don't. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Good to see you.
Not too bad. How about yourself? Can you hear me all right?
Hear you perfectly. Rock and roll.
Awesome.
How much of that, as you've obviously only just joined, how much of that project did you see? Did you catch?
I've had a right good look at the Kickstarter. It does look a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun. I mean,
it's one of those things where I have a gut feeling it won't get to the table unless I really try hard, but it would just be incredible. And
I feel like it would make for a really good one shot, or like
exactly,
or an evening where, like, I don't know if you do the same thing where you are, but up here in Leeds, we've got a like a monthly one shot night where people just turn up.
Get you in your social life.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why we're moving. So, all things going to plan, and our solicitors now said that we could expect up to 20 weeks of wait from this point.
Ooh.
We've already done this. We started moving in July, and as you can tell, it's going very, very well indeed.
Yeah, I can tell,
we will actually be in closer proximity to actual people that play actual games, rather than our friends who we play very regularly with. By very regularly, I mean about once a month in person. and they're only 10, 15 minutes down the road, but actually it all adds up when you've got, work commitments and family commitments and kids and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's a challenge, but yeah, one shot night. That sounds like a great idea. I do want to get more one shots on our channel as well. So, including Weird Space. Hint, hint. We'll get there one day.
We certainly will.
Again, real life. Andy says, "Ah, yes, the t-shirt in the background. Hang on, let me embiggen Paul.
Oh yes, my Australian Research and Space Exploration t-shirt.
Nice. That's amazing. I approve of that. Yeah. 9 lives to Valhalla. Looks incredible. We're going to have to move on, I'm afraid. But before we do that, we need to draw the name of the winner of the Sunken City Omnibus from Purple Sorcerer. So as I said earlier, we're doing a giveaway with Purple Sorcerer related to our actual play of Nebin Pendlebrooke's Perilous Pantry. And here we go. The winner of the Sunken City Omnibus. That feels like one piece of paper. Right. And the winner is XYP. It's the more efficient, newer, awesome Phil. So, Phil, congratulations. You win the Sunken City Omnibus, which will be digital. Contact me or Zach. We'll get it sorted out. We've got you on Discord. Congratulations. It's an amazing, amazing book. I'm quite jealous. I didn't put my name in the hat, obviously. Just put my head in the hat instead. But yeah, congratulations. Thank you for joining and thank you for playing as well. Wow, I thought it was XWDP. I think it's extra wide. I think that's how it was described to us when we first met him. Right, we haven't got a lot of time, so let us crack on with Astro Inferno. I got to tell you, I'm genuinely really excited by this project. There we go, loading that up. I'm just going to go straight into the video. Actually, that's the wrong video. I think there's a bigger one. If we go down, added one.
It does look cool. It's kind of like Mogbog-ish.
I think there's more of a heritage. God, so much stuff on this campaign. So rich.
Several videos, yeah.
Our universe gone. Lost in dream and myth. In tyranny of the desecrated. Hail their spiritual son, Satan. A TTRPG unlike anything. Face the beyond grimdark. Horrors reign. Divinity trapped in nightmare machines. The Genesis fused in arcane alchemy. Gods of myth. Angels of true unlight. In an epic dark sci-fi fantasy. Dive into the abyss. Bathe in glorious violence.
Glorious violence.
Carve your truth through fate. As hellfire rain from above.
Music is amazing. I hope it's license free. Robots, witches, angels and death, space magic, guns, artifacts and violence. Dark Souls meets Neil Gaiman. In a sci-fi setting with you, Dante, and something else which I missed.
Clive Barker.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was.
My eyes are so blurry. It's been a long day. That's so cool. Yeah, abruptly, sound ceased. That was not the best edit I've ever seen. But anyway, right.
Well, to be fair, with all the research I did when I did my own Kickstarter, people very rarely watch all the way to the very, very end of the video.
Yeah,
They
I can
usually
imagine.
give
I
up
mean,
about
there's a much shorter video at the top.
Yeah, they usually give up about 60% of the way through.
I
That's
watched
just
your
normal.
entire video. In fact, I think we aired your entire video because it was great. So let's have a look. I mean, first things first.
I can see a lot, and I do mean a lot of different ways that this has been, a lot of the influences behind this.
Yeah.
When they say Clive Barker, you can see it. You can see cult in there. You can see.
Well, as Andy said, you've got
Cyborg cult 40k space.
Cult, yeah, Warhammer 40,000. Excuse me, there's a bit of Space Hulk in there, so yeah, very much Warhammer.
It's for me. This is
really
really sort of. You know that bit in Event Horizon where the ship disappears and then it comes back 7 years later?
Yes.
This might be what happened in those 7 years.
Yeah, I wish that they had not butchered that movie so much. I completely agree with you. And I believe there is some heritage here from one of the authors worked on the latest cult books, which still haven't arrived on my shelf. It's fine. I'm moving house. I should have moved ages ago. Grumble, grumble. But this kind of gets me a bit. What the hell is beyond Grimdark?
Well, it's Grimdark, but it's actually in hell.
Well, it's after Grimdark. Is that like Grim Morning?
It's Grimdarker.
Yeah, Grimdark. Grim. I don't know, because surely after darkness comes the light. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's one of those buzz phrases which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'd love to know if the original, because this is a Swedish group of people doing this. I'd love to know if actually we should have 2 dots over the first A and it should be Haxan, because Haxan means witch. So like that would make sense. Like Witch Studios. I don't know. Maybe they've just missed the umlaut out because it's easier. Simple rules with depth that makes characters feel more interesting and complex. System to generate your soul with the past, their master, and their destiny. 6 forms, which are your races. 8 destinies, which kind of your classes. It is D20 system. You roll D20 for every action, which can generate story points to award you with additional concurrent actions or boons, which is great. I like the idea that those story points you can use now. It's not necessarily for leveling up. It's just to contribute. It's like Benny's in Savage Worlds almost.
Yeah.
The art looks great, and this is where it gets interesting because there's 2 versions of the book. I'm just going to double check what they actually refer to them as. Core edition and the legendary edition. And I had presumed, as is normally the case, that when you have a legendary edition or when you have a standard and a limited edition, all they're really changing is the cover and maybe you get your name in the limited edition. Not the case here. They're actually doing 2 different versions of the inner artwork, which again follows from Helmgast's idea of having a Kickstarter exclusive, and I'm sure other people have done it as well. But what springs to mind is Cult Divinity Lost, where there is a Kickstarter edition where the art is much more visceral, much darker, and then you have the retail version, which got extra toned down. I think at Modifius' request when they went to US distribution. But disregarding that, you have some other changes as well. So you see here, if I can make this any bigger, this probably won't work. There we go. Oh God, no. Okay, so this is your standard edition. Fine. And then this is your limited edition. Not only is the artwork changed slightly, you can see here the artwork is slightly different in terms of colors, and there's like this kind of thing over the top. There's also these notes
thing over as well.
Yeah, there's also these extra notes here. And when you go down to, there's another example.
Holy diver.
Yeah, holy diver. Where is that other example? There's so much content here. That's what we were just looking at.
And there's a preview on it as well.
Yeah, I'll show that in a second. So here we go.
Bet
There's
that's
your core
got bloody-
edition, standard edition. The core edition, there's so much more written around the edges. And what they've also got is the legendary edition has a completely different binding, which is fascinating. I'm kind of nervous of the rigidity, structural integrity of this, but I think it's like a manuscript you just leave on your shelf, don't you? So the idea is you can open it wider and flat without breaking the spine. So I guess it's some kind of sewn binding, stitch binding. It's great. There's so much content. I don't really have even time to go into it. We've got 5 minutes left. But I will very quickly share the preview that you can download. I think it's really important that you actually get an idea of the artwork and how the book's going to look, which isn't like this, because that's 9 lives, because I'm rubbish. But check this out. In fact,
yeah, that is very pretty. It's still very much in the vein of Event Horizon as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Event Horizon is probably my favorite horror film. I don't really watch a lot of horror. The layout is really super clean. It's like the best of Fria Gun. Reminds me more of the layouts of the Genesis than it does of like Cult, for example. That's not a bad
with the
thing
Dune
at
book
all.
as well.
Sorry?
Dune.
Oh, I still haven't actually read that. But no, I've seen bits of it actually. Yeah, no, you're right. It was like the use of transparencies and block color here is really great. It really makes it very easy to follow. It's a goddamn art book. It really is,
really
but not
is.
in the kind of Morkborg kind of Morkborg sort of way.
Oh, there we go. There's the legendary versus the other one.
Yeah. So there's your standard. You see this thing here. Legendary. Death Singers, and that's the last page. So check that out, please, please, please do. Right, let me just go back over to the campaign again.
One of the comments there. Did they say Dark Souls meets Neil Gaiman? So Dark Souls characters have a cup of tea with him.
Dark. Right. Perhaps I should say to Grimdark and Beyond. Yeah, they Gaiman stuff and made it less harsh. Maybe depends on which Gaiman book you're reading, but yeah. Lovecraftian in space. Beyond Grimdark is grim slapstick. Grim light. Yeah, as I said, we're running out of time. Very quickly, I'm going to tell you what I have backed for. I have backed this. I've pulled a whole load of other
silly
stuff
version, isn't it?
to make this happen.
Is it the fill level?
It is the fill level. And let me tell you why. So, well, you can get the PDF, €20, £17. Good price for PDF.
Sort of
I approve
stuff,
that. Core edition standard is £30.
That's decent.
The legendary edition is £50 with that really unique binding. I've not seen that anywhere else on an RPG book before. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I'm just really uneducated. I think we know that. But then for £72, you can get both versions. And I mean, that's what you do, isn't it? If you're me, at least, you buy both versions. You put you have your legendary edition as your reference book. You use that when you're creating whatever games you're doing, and then the core edition becomes the one you actually use on a day-to-day basis. I'll warn you though, if you're going to back this, that there are a bunch of add-ons, and they do add up. Now, I'm not saying that means that it's a rip-off. Just be mindful that, and yeah, there were other editions as well, which have all gone. Let's see if they actually discuss the add-ons here. Lots of stretch goals. They're doing quite well.
I don't know.
Lots of different. There's so much on this campaign. I mean, we could probably spend half an hour to 45 minutes unboxing all of what's here. Here's the add-ons. There are so many of them. Character sheets, GM screen, tarot deck,
Ooh, with that artwork.
T-shirt. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's not clear. Looks like there's actually more of a resource deck. Hopefully they've got up.
Divided into sections
does say
with custom art on the back.
backside. Custom
I
art
don't
on
want art on the backside.
So an arse tattoo, arshgevai, arse antlers, t-shirts, coasters, and then extra books. Coasters. I've got to say, I do like me some coasters, but I wish they weren't cardboard. I'd much rather they were like wooden or something.
€10 for 10 double-sided cardboard beer coasters. So it's a beer mat. It's a satanic beer
€10
mat.
for 6 beer mats, exactly. Let us know what you think. If you like the look of it, please hit like, please subscribe. Let's catch up and talk about it at another time. I'm going to see if I can get hold of the authors. It would be great if we could talk to them about this project, to be honest with you. We are out of time, though. Please, if you're not already aware, do join us over on Twitch. In fact, I'll get the banner up so you can get the URL. There we go. Join our after party. We are going to be heading on over to Twitch in like 5 minutes, and there we'll carry on this discussion. We'll talk about the things that we've been looking at today. We should get some of our patrons on, hopefully, as well. It's a nice little perk for people who join our Patreon. Links to the Patreon and to our Discord, and that's probably it, because I was really lazy this week, are down below. We'll head on over there for our after party. There's going to be lots of talk about TV stuff and film stuff, and we're still banned from talking about a whole bunch of stuff that Paul hasn't seen yet.
I've recently watched the last episode of The Witcher, so we can move on to that.
The last episode of The Witcher, so we can actually talk about that.
Yeah, cool. Boba Fett is the next one on the list.
Good. So yeah, come join us, twitch.tv/The Dark Orb UK, and we will see you there. Until then, so whilst we spend 2 minutes just moving over to the other stream and reminding ourselves that we're allowed to have things like drinks and stuff, yeah, please hit like, please subscribe, and I hope your dice are also generally way better than mine. We'll catch you in a minute over on Twitch. Take care, everyone. Good to see you.